Hey guys, and today we're going to be analysing Tottenham performance against Newcastle, who I'd start against Fulham, my team of the week from last week, and the player to watch from this week with my predictions. First of all, obviously we're going to start with Hugo Lloris. I actually thought he had quite a good game against Newcastle. He had a lot to do. He made quite a few saves. He's one of our better players. But then we're going to move on to Jan Vertonghen, who actually scored the goal in the end, even though it was a bit of a scramble. I felt him and Davinson Sanchez just sometimes didn't look happy with each other. They didn't look comfortable playing alongside each other. And I think that could be an issue once we play against better teams. But talking to Davinson Sanchez, I felt he had quite a good game. He attacked us quite well a few times. He was a bit weak defensively, but you know, he never has been the greatest defensively. He's all been about his kind of height and power. Next, we're going to be moving on to Ben Davies, who I felt was a bit quiet against Newcastle, didn't have his greatest game. He has played a lot better than that, and I think against Fulham he'll have to play better than that to not see a play taken by Danny Rose again. And the next player we're going to be moving on to is Eric Dyer, who I think protected a shaky back four quite well at times. Sure, he got booked and then got taken off with cramp, but he had a decent game in my mind. Next we're going to be moving on to Ericsson, who again had one of his quieter games and couldn't quite create anything. I think he'd been a bit rushed back. Once all of this sort of had a bit more training, then I think they'll be alright. The next player we're going to be moving on to is actually the star of pre-season, Lucas Moura, who forced his way into the team ahead of Son. And I felt he had good spells against Newcastle. The goals he was quite involved in. He had a lot of pace, he offered something different, and I really like him. The next player we're going to move on to is the one who hasn't ever scored in August, the only month he's never scored in. And it's Harry Kane, who I think had a typical August game for him, really. Nothing really goes in for him. Has an alright game, but nothing spectacular in front of goal. That person we're moving on to is probably our best player of the game at times. And that's Dele Alli, who was bright, he looked better, and he looked like the player of the season before last, when he scored loads of goals, and not the player from last year, who was quiet. But the next player we're going to move on to is probably the player I hate the most in the Tottenham squad at the minute, and it's Moussa Sissoko. Because I just cannot see the point in him at times. He just is such a waste of space. Sure, against Newcastle away, he always has a good game, but I don't know why that is. Next player we're going to move on to is the player who I think was brought in a bit of a rush to play Kyle Walker last year, and we've now realised we could have just got a backup to Trippier. And that's Sergio Aurier, because I don't think he's had his best time since joining Tottenham. He's not looked a solid right back that he was at PSG. Son came off the bench against Newcastle, didn't really have a lot of time to make an impact. But we'll be missing him for the next month or so now for the Asian Games, which we all hope he wins, fingers crossed. Otherwise he might have to do military duty for like 2 years. Luke Amos came on towards the end. I think it was him. Yeah, it was him. But he came on towards the end when Eric Dyer got cramp. He was another star of the pre-season tour. Nothing really that special. Didn't really have had time to make it onto the pitch for that long. Next, we're going to be moving on to my overall team of the week. In goal, I put in Petr Cech because I think if it wasn't for him, Arsenal would have lost by 2 or 3 more. And he actually had a really good game. Some of the saves he made were quite impressive, in my mind. Next, we're going to be moving on to Jeffrey Slupp, who had a really good first game for Crystal Palace. He scored and he looked really bright, surprisingly. Next player we're going to be moving on to is the one who had on out of it in his pocket for the whole game and really stopped West Ham's core and looked really solid like he has since he joined Liverpool, and it's Virgil van Dijk. I think he is one of the best centre-halves in the Prem and is very underrated on FIFA. The song we've talked about. Next person is Marcus Alonso, who I think is always a threat, simply because he can do... Simply because from out wide, his crosses are pretty much spectacular sometimes, and he can finish as well. The next player we're going to move on to is one of only 2 people who made their debut this weekend who's in this team, and it's Naby Keita, who I felt had a really promising start to his Liverpool career. Because he looked bright, he kept moves going, he opened West Ham up at times. The next person is Paul Pogba, who I think had a really good game against West Ham. And I mean a really good game at times. He was bright, he scored, and as captain he looked a lot more comfortable. Next player we're going to move on to is another shot Crystal Palace player, and it's Wabi Bissaka, whatever his name is. He was immense on the first day. Ryan Sessegnon is one of the best youngsters in the Prem, in my mind, and I only wish he'd go to Tottenham, but he just dominated him the whole game. The next person we're going to be moving on to is the other debutant in this team, and it is Richarlison, who scored twice on his Everton debut. He became the first player to score twice on the opening day for a team who he just signed for a lot of years, I think. The next player we're going to be moving on to is someone else who scored twice on the opening day, and it's Sadio Mane, who just loves the opening month for the season. He looked so promising against West Ham. And I think him, Salah and Firmino could lift Liverpool to title this year. Next player we're going to move on to is that before mentioned Roberto Firmino, who didn't have a perfect game, but I didn't think there were any strikers who did have a magnificent game on the opening day of the season. I just couldn't think of anyone when I was making this team. I racked my brain for ages. I just couldn't think of anyone. Next thing we're going to be moving on to my players to watch for this week, and this week has actually got quite a few good ones in it. In goal is Matt Ryan, who had a really good game last time Man United and Brighton played each other, and they play each other this Sunday, so it will be really important that he does well for them. But the first game of this weekend is Cardiff-Newcastle. I couldn't really find anyone important from this game. But I think Newcastle will win it like 2-0. Potentially Rondon scoring on his first start. I can't see Cardiff doing anything this year. I really can't. There's the first of the 3 o'clock kickoffs in alphabetical order is Everton versus Southampton, which I think Everton could win 3 or 4-0 really, considering Southampton were really bad last year and couldn't break down Burnley last week in the 0-0 draw. I think that was a really shocking performance from Southampton. But the player I picked from this game was Jerry Mina, because he didn't get to make his debut last week, but with Jagielka suspended this week, I think he'll make it this week. The other player I picked from this game, simply because he scored twice last week and everyone will want to see if he can live up to it, and it is Richarlison, who I think is a really promising young player, and he's Brazilian, so he's got all the traits to get better. The next of the 3 o'clock kick-off is Leicester versus Wolves. There was only one person who made it close to getting in this team, and that was Ruben Neves, who I think had a really good game on the opening day. But I think it'll be 2-2 probably. I think Leicester will go 2 up but then throw it away. Tottenham Fulham. I think this could be, no offence to Fulham, but Fulham at Wembley, I think this could be a cricket score really. I'm going for 5 with a Harry Kane hat-trick, and that is why I put Harry Kane in this team, and he will remain in this team until he scored in August, because everyone will be wondering if he can score in August, and then they'll be wondering has his fire gone out, and is he gonna just fizzle out now? I hope he doesn't fizzle out, otherwise my life is ruined. The last 3 o'clock kickoff is West Ham versus Bournemouth. I think this could be a really good game because both teams have some quite good players who performed alright on the opening day. Callum Wilson, Felipe Anderson could be vital in this game. I think it will be 2-1 West Ham. Late winner from Arnautovic potentially. Now the game of the weekend, most likely, is Chelsea-Arsenal on Saturday night. Emery's first game against Chelsea could be a really entertaining one, and the one I put in this team for it is actually David Luiz. Because he missed a lot of good games, because he missed a lot of big games last year, so everyone will be wondering if he can handle it this year. And if he can handle the pressure that will be on him for the opening big game of the season for them. The first of the kickoffs in alphabetical order on Sunday is Burnley Watford, and I can see this, and I can't see any goals happening in this one. I think it'll be 0-0, a tight affair, nothing really gets going. It'll be one of the games to forget, and I'm so glad it's not on TV. But the next game is Man City Huddersfield, and I think this could be a really good scoreline for Man City as well. 3 or 4-0 probably. But the player I picked from this game is actually Bernardo Silva. So I think he's had a really good 2 games in the Community Shield and against Arsenal last week. And I'll be interested to see if with no De Bruyne, if he can keep it up. The next game is Brighton, Man United, and I've already mentioned Matt Ryan, but the other person I put in from this game is Paul Pogba, because I think it'll be interesting with Valencia still out, with him being captain probably again. Can he perform like he did on the opening day? If so, that'll just strengthen the Barcelona rumours and probably put his price tag up a bit. But the final game of the weekend on Monday Night Football, which I'm so glad I'll be back, is Crystal Palace Liverpool, and I have a lot of players in this game. First one is Jeffrey Sloop. Can he handle the big Liverpool players in a game like this? Even though he performed so well on the opening day. In front of him is Sadio Mane. He got a good record against Palace. He scored against them last year a few times, I think. He can score goals, and that's what he's made for. The other person from Liverpool is Naby Keita. It'll be interesting to see if the opening day performance was just a lucky performance, or if it's going to be a full-time performance from him. Final player in this team and the final player from this game is Wan-Bissaka, there we go. Now I got it right. And he had a brilliant game on the opening day, but can he handle Salah, Mane and Firmino? Will be a big question of him, and will he be trusted to handle them? Thank you for watching this video, guys. You'll probably see this video either Friday night or Saturday morning. But I will see you guys next time.